Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome back to the Strompcast. This is episode 228. Final league game to talk about this week. I'm of course joined by the main man, Chris. How you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing good. I don't think anyone really thought anything crazy was going to happen this weekend. One team's champion already, the other team's already relegated. Not much to play for, other than individual stat boosting. It was just kind of a fun game to take in because let's be honest, I think we kind of expected a bit of a drubbing. And then we got to watch yet another party after the game. So
Yeah,
good
yeah. It was
content.
very much. Hey, we're just gonna figure shit out, I guess, kind of game. Like let's just kind of get through it relatively tame and unscathed, I suppose would be the way to put it. Um, Kind of uneventful, other than the kit reveal, which we'll get to in a moment. You can follow us down below, as you can see. I'm going to pull up the Chaves game, and we can get into it momentarily. Of course, follow us on all things Alvalade on social medias. Like and subscribe if you are so inclined. We got some fun stuff coming up. Without further ado, let us get into it. So, our starting lineup was as follows. Diogo Pinto started in net. We had a back line of Gonçalo Inácio, Sebastian Coach, and Luis Neto. Esgaio and Nuno Sanch were the fullbacks. Mauricio and Hulman were the midfielders. Pedro Gonçalves and Trincao, the wingers. And, of course, led by Victor Jokeres. A 3-0 win. Chris, I'll start with you because I watched the game and I don't have a ton to add to it. But I'll start with you. What did you make of this game? Any standout stuff for you?
Um, like I just mentioned like a second ago, I didn't really expect anything too crazy.
Yeah.
I expected a similar scoreline at the end of the day. Chaves, to be fair to them, did create a little bit more in the second half, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's not like any of it mattered. Sporting definitely took their foot off the gas a little bit. Jokeres is certainly unlucky to not have a hat trick. But not finish on 30 in the league, the round 30. So he had to settle for 29, I believe.
How dare he?
Not too bad, not too shabby.
Not bad considering 29 goals in 34 games. I'd say that's a pretty good. That's almost a goal a game. That's a pretty good ratio.
Honestly, the penalty in the first half for Sporting, it's a bit harsh. But I mean, it kind of is like the laws of the game, I suppose. You could make an argument his arm is like raised, it's not in a natural position. You're gonna run into trouble when that happens, but
Yeah.
it's certainly unlucky to concede from a pen if you're Chaves in this situation.
Yeah.
I don't really have much to add. I thought Trincão looked good again. Pretty good game from Morita. Backline was solid. Again, Diogo Pinto. Not a whole lot to do, so we
Yeah.
didn't really get to see that much from him
No, we
yet
got squeezed
again.
almost nothing.
The jury's still out. Fair play to him for standing in there for these couple games. They
Not
weren't.
easy.
It's not easy. I understand the games aren't the most important games, but he's still probably thrust into a situation that he wasn't prepared for. A week before, he wasn't thinking he's going to be starting against Chesterfield, And let's be also clear, people are just assuming Adan is going to return for Sunday, but
I just saw reports that he's not. It's going to be Diogo Pinto again.
Yeah, there's no guarantee. So my man could be very much be playing the biggest game of his life by far.
With like 3 games of professional
With very
experience.
little experience and very little, and even in the little experience that he has had, not a whole lot of having to organize corners, shot stopping, dealing with heavy pressure and like getting your back line up to relieve some of it. Like
just having to make saves,
just kind of normal stuff that like will happen if you play enough games. In the games that he's played, literally, like not really any of these things have happened. He's had like 2 shots on target in 3 games to save, it feels like. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll find out if he steps up into the biggest moment, but
We'll find out, I suppose.
we will certainly find out.
Yeah, I don't have a ton to really add to this game. Like you said, like he didn't have anything to really face again. It's not totally his fault there. It's just you're
It is
thrusting him
what it
into a
is. I mean, they didn't
you're
play the
thrusting
best
him
game.
into a
Yeah,
high pressure situation, right, against Porto. So it's going to literally be a completely different game than what he's been facing. It's not like he's been facing teams that have been fighting for relegation where they would maybe put up a bit of a fight and put up some pressure. Like the teams he faced were already relegated or
just locked
confirmed
into
to,
their positioning.
or yeah, they
Yeah.
were confirmed like to be pretty much like stay in and around where they were and not be relegated. So there wasn't really much in those games aside. We just need to play this to fill out the games and stat pad. That's literally all it was. Stands from this game is Gaio with an assist, a rare Carlos Gaio assist. Get
I actually
excited.
didn't mention him. He actually played pretty well again.
He played pretty well in a game that meant nothing.
That was
That
one of the
sounds about
talking
right.
points that I wanted to mention was who do you think will start on Sunday in that position?
That's
Because you could
interesting.
probably make an argument that two of his like 4 best games this season have been in the last like 3 weeks.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't completely argue it. In the last month or so,
Yeah, so I mean,
he's definitely looked better.
I didn't mean to
I'm
cut you
also
off.
looking Nuno Sanch with an assist. I thought he looked great. Jokeres with 2 goals. What else can you say about him? We got a Paulinho goal, which was sweet.
Banger,
That's my guy.
nice
Paulinho
goal,
banger. He's got a few.
dude.
Into
He
to
really
his
has.
highlight
He
reel.
really
He's
has
got a
had a few.
few in his highlight reel, especially since he joined Sporting. He's got a couple bangers
When the
to add to the
games
mixtape.
don't count.
When most of them, when the
When the
games
lights
mean
shine the
nothing.
dimmest.
When the lights aren't even hot, but there's still people home. Paulinho
Nah, I can't
stepped
even
up.
shit on pulling you anymore.
Nah, he had a he had a great season by
Yeah,
all
he did.
accounts,
He
considering
did.
the shit that he put up with. He played really well. The second striker to put up like 20 plus goals in all comps, like good on him. Like
He was like,
I'm
what
never
was he?
gonna
He had like
complain.
6 in the league last year?
I think he had
8?
6 in the league last,
He had
6 or 7.
15
He had
this
below
year.
10.
He had
He had
15.
below 10, and he had 15 in the
In
league.
much less minutes. I mean, I don't have the numbers in
Oh
front of me,
god,
but
yeah, proportionally way
I bet
less.
it's at least 1/3 less minutes, if not more.
Oh, proportionally way less minutes. We had a lot of like double-digit goal scorers this season though, or close to. Like we had him. Jokeres is the obvious one. Pot. I think Trincao as well would be in there as well with double digits. We had a couple. I feel like I might be missing some. But Agansa might have just missed out. But we
Yeah, he
had,
probably had like 5, maybe.
yeah, we had a few. We had goal scoring from throughout, but it was nice to see both strikers step up when we did. There's not much to add to this game, really. Like we're not spending a whole ton of time on a nothing game against Chaves. The game was the game. They got the points record for them, 90 points. They finished 1 point off as well of the all-time record, which was 91 from Portugal. So I think we can say we're well-deserved champions in that regard. If we're pretty much knocking on that door, pretty crazy. So we're gonna before we actually move on, man of the match for you, Chris.
One more for Thick Vic.
I'm gonna make it a double, just like he scored in this game. Another one for Thick Vic. The big talking point, which we are going to get to in a moment. I'm gonna share my screen, then I'm gonna pass it off to you to do your screen shares. Ladies and gentlemen, a brand new sporting kit, alleged to be the home kit. This is certainly a choice.
Got a
Now,
lot of things alleged about it.
this is divided opinion, understandably. My thought is this. I think it's an okay kit. I don't think it's an objectively bad kit. I think it's fine as like a third or like an alternative or whatever. Making that your home kit to me is unacceptable behavior. And that is where my beef stands. Chris, I will pass it off to you. What do you think of this kit?
Yeah, I mean, I might even be willing to take it a step further, as much to say like that I like the kit.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you're sporting, you're kind of limited to like 3 to 5 template options that are even like to make a kit that's even possible.
Mm-hmm.
I actually do like this kit.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like many things. One of them is that it definitely kind of feels like a combination of all of the kits that we got this season.
Yeah, it does actually.
And they're
That's
just
a
like,
good
okay,
point.
one more. Now we mash them all together.
Put them all together.
You
Let's
would come up
go.
with something like that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't think the new Betano logo is bad. I mean, it's fine. And they got a little lightning bolt now. If anything, it's a little bit cooler.
It's my feelings on it are the same as the old
Yeah,
one. It's just
it is what it
there.
is. It's
I
not.
think
There's a lot of sponsors that can ruin your kit, right? So this is
this one doesn't
just
ruin
black
it.
text. It fits in the
Yeah.
line. It's fine,
It's not as clean as the Nosh sponsorship of old, but it's still fine. Like it's simple. It's not multicolored. It's cool.
My problems from the kit more so arose when I saw it in game.
Mm-hmm.
The completely black backside,
Yep.
the black shorts, and the black socks.
Yeah.
I mean, it basically, from certain angles, it just looks like a black kit. Like, like if you were asking me, what color is this kit?
You'd
I'm
say
not going to
black
say
first.
green. I'm going to say black. I'm going to say this is a black kit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it's a bit crazy for me that is the home kit. Because I think that the kit is not green and white enough that you could get away with having that as the away
your home.
kit.
You couldn't.
Yeah, and it's like this could be the away kit. This could be the third kit.
This could be This is I think if this
and you
was
can
the
still have a traditional
cool.
green and white kit, and it doesn't even feel like that's like too similar,
Well, and my thing too is they said it was going to be. The rumors were it was going to be a nod to Stromp, but even Sporting
Well,
said
I mean,
it's supposed to
that's
be
not even
nod
a
to
rumor.
Stromp.
If you like look up write-ups about the kit, they said that this is an honor.
It's a Stromp kit, which is what they said.
Stromp.
And I don't know about you. If they had
what
said
does this have to do with Francisco Stromp, man? I'd love
other
to
than
know.
it's got more black and usual, like I don't know. Like if they had gone with something even remotely like what you have on right now,
yeah,
I wouldn't have even.
Which was, by the way, probably one of the best Stromp kits.
One of the nicer ones I think they've ever had. Yeah, if they had gone with something even remotely close to that, if they had gone with like the leak we had talked about like last week or the week before, you would have heard zero complaints. People would have been so happy with that. Yeah, I'm with you. It's not a bad kit. If I have to give it a rating, it's like a 6.5, 7 out of 10 kit. It's just not a banger kit, and it's not meant to be the home kit.
Do you remember in 2014, 15,
maybe
first year of Macron?
Yes,
the home kit with the green shorts.
The green short. It
and
was a lot of
solid
green on the kit.
socks.
Short.
And the solid green socks.
Yeah.
That caused an
Such
absolute fucking freak out.
That
caused a meltdown of epic proportions. Sporting apparently didn't even okay it. And the next year they say you cannot have green shorts again, and we need striped socks. And sure enough, Macron delivered on that for like 7 years straight.
I think the only year we didn't have like striped socks was 2019.
And do you remember what happened? They tried to make the thin lines.
Yeah.
And they released that with the kit, and then Sporting said, we're not wearing those.
Yeah.
And they just wore the year before socks. So it is in very recent, and I am like a type of guy that is kind of like more inclined to like follow these types of traditions.
Mm-hmm.
But I have heard or seen very little. I mean, I've seen critiques of the kit more so from the perspective that we're coming at it from. Like, it's an okay kit, it's a good kit, but it's just not a home kit. It's crazy. Like, I was even thinking, like, what if the socks were like black and green hoops? Like anything, just like to try to like at least pretend like it's more of the home kit. It's really tough for me to endorse it from that perspective, but like I do actually like the kit. But it's tough, man. It's really tough to like feel like I'm abandoning my principles to support this kit, because we shouldn't have black socks with our home kit.
We had
our home kit shouldn't be a black kit,
Yeah. We had black socks once, I think, in like 2019. I think we had black socks
with the home kit.
I think in 2019.
Oh, you're right. With the
we did
with the retro,
with
the
like the
18,
retro looking
19, yeah.
jersey, which
But I
which
mean, there
didn't
was at
look
least a
bad.
reason for that, right?
Yeah, and it didn't look bad because the jersey was such a
That was
banger.
one
You
of the
gave
best jerseys, yeah.
that's my all-time favorite kit we've ever had. Like
Hmm.
I'll die on that
And
hill.
we may have did we wear striped socks occasionally throughout the season, or was it always the black socks?
We might have. It's this
Yeah.
again. This is a
So,
while
I
ago.
mean,
We've had a whole
and
pandemic since
also
then.
what it also needs to be said, like, we don't know for sure, right? There's still time to change this. There's time to make this the away kit. There's time to add different socks, etc., right?
Yeah,
Um,
like we still don't. There's
Nothing's
still
set in
two or
stone. It's
three
just
kits to be
kind of
revealed.
rumors at this point. Or like rumors with founded rumors, not unfounded rumors, right?
Mhm,
So a lot of it is just kind of founded rumors,
mhm.
but
There's
so
still two or
it's
three
not
kits to
locked in
reveal,
place
but
by any stretch, but it seems like that's the direction they're going.
it's
I
too bad.
curious to see what the away kit is. The away kit just going to stay the same?
Yeah, what's our kits? I heard a rumor. I don't remember where I saw that they were potentially going to use the Cup Winners' Cup kit as like an alternative going in the next
Yeah, that's what I
season.
was saying. Because if you actually look closely at the templates of,
They're almost
it's the
identical,
same
like
one. It's the same
in
template.
terms of
Yeah,
like the fabric cuts and everything.
yeah. So the black home kit that just released is the same template as the white Taca this Taca's kit.
Yeah.
So I could see that being the
Mhm.
away kit. I mean, that's also a really great kit. I mean, how
That's
many
a
games did it get
sick
used
kit.
in? 5? Like,
It
absolute,
got used in like 4 games or
yeah,
something crazy, three
absolute
or four
banger
games. Like
kit.
it's a sick kit. That's probably the kit I'm gonna buy actually.
It's currently sold out. On
I've got
Lagerbert.
places.
They might have it on other places. Yeah, true.
I've got it bookmarked from a couple other places
Okay.
that are reputable, not one of those sites either.
Um,
But yeah, I'm curious to see what they do because yeah, I'm waiting to see what our other kits look like before I make a choice. But it's looking more likely I will just go with the Toss of those Tosses kit. Uh,
and
that one.
lastly, just to kind of put a bow on this, 6 kits for sporting this season. Me and Danny always used to joke about
Technically,
how
yeah.
many kits like Arsenal gets per season and
Or
stuff
like
like
Man
that.
City or like some of these other teams. Yeah.
6 for sporting, bro?
Home away,
Do we make it?
CR7. Home away, CR7.
New
The
away,
all black, the Toss of the Tosses, and
2
this
blacks, 2
one.
whites, home and the new home.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
6 kids, 1 season.
It's
We
something.
made
Like
it, boys. Who would have thought?
it's too bad that the two kits that I like the least are the one that's technically for next season and the all black one because they had so much potential and they screwed it
Yeah.
up.
That looking back, that all black one was, of the 6, is definitely the most pointless. I don't know what the point of that was.
It's so useless. Like I rank it the lowest
They
of the
didn't
6
even
kits we
sell it.
wore.
It's just like, why?
Why did we
You
bother
already
with
have
this?
a black kit.
Like
You're releasing a
who
black home kit.
who asked for this? That's what I want. Who okayed this? We need to talk. It was yeah, that was one that I was not a big fan of. Anything else down on the kits, Chris, before I get into the usual league predictions and fantasy?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't even like when people are like, "Oh, my logo's not centered on my jersey or whatever." I'm like, that's just Lagerbert shit. That's not really anything to do with like the new production.
That's not a Nike thing. That's a
No, it's a
sporting
sporting thing. It's
personnel.
not a Nike thing.
That's an employee problem at wherever you're getting your kits
So
printed.
sadly, there's not
probably wasn't good.
really any news to report there. I've seen some people complaining about it. It's always going to happen whenever you order anything from Lagerbert. You just gotta
Anytime you
cross
order
your
something
fingers.
with customization,
You gotta cross your fingers and hope that your shit's not crooked.
yeah.
Not really
Anytime you
much
order
else you can do.
something like that, yeah. Anytime you order like customization on a kit, it is on, and like this isn't just a Lagerbert thing. That's an everywhere you order from thing. There's a non-zero chance that something's gonna be screwed up with like your patches or like your
Yep.
name or number on the back. Like
And it's like a 30%.
it doesn't happen often,
It's
but
a
like it
pretty.
sucks
It's
when it
like
does.
not the worst odds. It's
Yeah.
not great odds. Like there's like 20 to 30%. 1 in 5.
it's
I
not
mean, that
fun.
sounds about right for
Yeah.
orders. 1 in 5 is probably.
They start. You get some kid who's like making no money, who's just like he's got to rifle through like 30 or 40 shirts in like an
Yeah, I
hour and
still
a
wear
half.
this shit. I know a couple pounds. I'm like, the logo's a little crooked on this one. Oh,
Yeah,
well.
I've got somewhere. I'm like, I've got somewhere like the pat. Like I got the Ajax one where like the Champions League patch is coming off, and like same with like a Sporting one. Like it happens. Like shit happen when you wear a shirt too, right? But it's the nature of the game. Moving on. Then we're gonna get into predictions. In 1 second here, because I think we can officially declare me as the champion. 92 points. Chris, you are in second with 76. Sam with 74. Danny all the way down there at 63. It really didn't get to be a runaway until like the last month or so, I would say. The predictions for this game, the Chaves game, were as followed. You and Danny just gave up completely. Sam,
tapped out.
Yeah, Sam and I wanted to go for stat padding. I had Jokeres goal and a Paulinho goal, and I got the win. Sam had Jokeres scoring twice. Even he had him scoring a hat trick. Could have had a hat trick. He still got 2 points for that and the win. So that is where he stands there. I was shocked he didn't pick a Paulinho goal. Even I picked a Paulinho goal. And the last game of the season is the Final de Taça against Porto. I've already made my predictions. I think we will win 2-1 with a Victor Jokeres brace. If the other boys even want to attempt to compete, feel free. But that is pretty much predictions. I am your reigning and defending champion. What a time to be alive. And now we move on to fantasy because it was interesting towards the end. We can honestly say it was a fight until the bitter end.
I rolled the dice because I had to try to make up 20 points.
You did. We're gonna work our way from the bottom up.
I will tell you my main fail. So it's not like fantasy football where you can change your lineup up until like their game kicks off.
It's once the week kicks
it's
off.
It's once the first game kicks off. So like my lot roster was locked on Friday afternoon. So once I knew Benfica's lineup on Saturday, it was too late to change anything. So I'm thinking on Friday, I'm like, probably gonna be Di Maria's last game.
He'll probably get a goal or so.
He'll get a goal. He'll probably get 2 goals, get an assist, get a curtain call.
Shit for you.
Did nothing. Play, bro. Didn't even play. I made him my captain because I was like, I have to try to make a different captain than Danny.
You gotta take a chance, right?
So I gotta
you can't move down, and but you can only move up. You can't move down.
That was just the dumbest gamble.
We're gonna get into that. So Sam's team is as follows. We'll work our way down. He had Banza, Bozanic, Jokeres, captain, Shock, Guitan, Conceição, Trincão. So not a ton of points for his midfield, but a decent amount. Smart on the Nuno Santos and Otamendi, and even the Carreras pick, not bad. Fabiano, but Luis Jr. gave him 0 points in goal. He left pretty much 0 points on the bench, maybe 3 from Fernandez, Matheus Fernandes. We'll go to me next. I had a decent week.
You had a pretty good week. I think you might have had the most points out of anyone in just this week.
So I had one Banza did nothing for me. If you had any Braga boys, they let us down. Jokeres, Pot, Jota, Guitan, and Mateus Oliveira. I had Costinha starting, which was a good shout. Borja gave me no points. Isgaio gave me no points. I got some points from Marcelo and a bit from Silva. And I left 0 points on my bench. I left absolutely nothing on my bench, so I got my max points. Thick Vic and the Revolutionaries. You had it was Mujica let you. So who let you down was Mujica for sure and Borja for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That killed you. I'm gonna go to your bench real quick. You left nothing on the bench, other than Di Maria not starting being your captain. That killed you. I was baffled by that. I saw that, and you were going just crazy in the chat. You're like, I'm freaking captain the guy, and he's not even playing. What is this crap? You're like, this is the fix was in. I'm convinced the fix was in for you. Not bad though. You finished 18th in the United States, so not bad. Top 20 is pretty good.
That's pretty good. Definitely better than I did last year.
Yeah. You barely finished like 30 points behind. Yeah, like 2105. He finished with 2130. you only finished a week behind him, a point behind him on this week even. So he pulled up like one extra point. He had his strikers let him down, for the most part. Like Bonza let him down, Ascend let him down. His Benfica boys all pretty much did nothing for him. He got points from Diogo Costa, thankfully for him. He got big points. He had Costinha just like I did, so that's what gave him a big week this week. He was smart. He left no points on the bench, and that includes his non-existent goalie. But Danny is the fantasy champion for all things Alvalade. And actually, where did he finish in Canada? I'm curious. It's a well-deserved victory. He finished 7th. So he finishes top 10. He was second at one point, but there's a couple sweats in the Canadian pool that were just going crazy. A well-deserved champion. He's been first for most of the year, not unlike Sporting. He almost bottled it at the end in true Sporting fashion, but then he pulled it back. But good on Danny. And as we finish up with fantasy, we get to a kind of important topic, I guess. We can talk about the Slicel call-ups and non-call-ups, I suppose. We can get into that. There's a few names that were omitted that we were quite surprised about. So I will read out the call-ups as follows. This was Roberto Martinez selected. So in goal, he selected Diogo Costa, Rui Patricio, and Jose Sa. His defenders are João Cancelo, Diogo Dalot.
He selected the Roma backup keeper.
We're going to get into this in a second. He selected João Cancelo, Diogo Dalot, Nelson Semedo, Pep, Ruben Dias, Antonio Silva, Gonçalo Inácio, Danilo, and Nuno Mendes. His midfielders are João Palhinha, Ruben Neves, Vitinha, João Neves, Bruno Fernandes, and Otávio. And then a large crop of forwards to choose from. He was spoiled for choice. Bernardo Silva, Rafael Leão, Pedro Neto, Chico Conceição, Diogo Jota, João Felix, Gonçalo Ramos, and Ronaldo. And I think, Chris, we got to talk
first
about
name, just Ronaldo.
Just Ronaldo. We got to talk about the big omission from him. There's a couple omissions and selections to debate, but I think the one omission that a lot of people expected to be in the squad that got left out was Totti Gomes. To start, I was a little surprised. No Totti Gomes.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
No, the big one was Pot. It was only one player from Sporting. He only picked Gonçalo Inácio. He left out Pot, left out Trincão, left out Paulinho, who did make his initial like 30 or 40 man like roster, but he had to cut it down to 26 to 26.
Shocked he's not bringing another center back. I'll be honest.
I was a little surprised.
He just doesn't have any other ones.
Yeah, so let's go name by name here. Jose Sanjo Costa, no problems. Patricio as your backup keeper is a little sus.
He should not be. He should be the third string.
He should not be there.
He might be. Honest. He might be the third string, but he really shouldn't even be there.
Yeah, I assume he's just the requisite old guy that every team takes. Who's never gonna play unless it's like an emergency. So I'm not overly cheesed about that one. I can live with it. On defense, so Cancelo I have no issues with. Dalot I have no issues with. Nelson Semedo and Danilo are the two I'm going to kind of pick on. In 2024, picking those guys as your center, as defenders is certainly a choice. It's definitely a choice. I could understand he was kind of in a tough place because he didn't have a lot of left fullbacks to choose from. Like Guerrero, it sucks that Guerrero's out hurt because he usually does play decent for the national team. I know some people were crying for Nuno Santos. I just don't think Nuno Santos would fit this team. I'm just surprised it was Nelson Semedo getting called up. And Danilo is just so slow. Danilo's top speed might match my top speed. I'm convinced. He's slow. So I imagine he's probably not starting any games unless it's like stat padding game at that point in the last group stage match. Where do you stand on the defenders, Chris? I don't have a whole lot to complain about other than kind of those two. I know Nelson Semedo did have a good, like a decent showing for Wolves this season. I think they voted him as their player of the year. But you're still player of the year on like a solidly lower mid-table team. You're on mute.
I just don't know like how fit Pep is. That's definitely a concern because like the center back I mean, if he's gonna play 3 center backs, there's one reserve, and he's been injured a lot, and he's also 41 years old. So
He's old, yeah. He's an old guy.
I hope he doesn't have any issues at that position, or you're gonna see some inventing
Danilo,
going on.
I mean, I assume it'll be a starting
Fabinho,
lineup
maybe
of.
you can invent and do a center back or something.
I'm assuming his lineup will be Inacio, Diaz, and some combo of either Antonio Silva or Pep. But then if someone does go down, you're basically left with Danilo, and that's it. Which is actually why I was a little surprised he didn't call up Totti Gomes. Because I figured if you're gonna play 3, if he's thinking of playing 3,
he's more hybrid. Yeah,
he would have probably, and he's been called up every call up for the last year. So he just figured I figured he was kind of a safe bet. I was a little bit surprised by that. Not like heartbroken about it, but just a little surprised. In midfield, Palhinha, no problem. Otávio, Bruno Fernandes, João Neves, no problem. It's Ruben Neves for me is the just egregious choice on this one. He offers 0 going forward. He offers almost a net negative on the defensive side. He's been coasting on that goal he scored for Wolves, and when they were in the championship in like 2017 or 2018 or whatever. A lot has happened since then. That is like 6 or 7 years ago. We have gone through global pandemics since then. We have seen untold life-changing events in that time, and he is still coasting on that one banger he scored in the championship in like 2017 or whatever. Like, that is a long time. I hate that I share a name with that guy. I hate it. Pisses me off. I'll pass back off to you, Chris. Thoughts on the midfielders as we kind of break this down. Anybody who would you have taken instead? Or who would you drop? Who would you take instead in their place, I suppose?
I just haven't been a fan of Ruben Neves for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would have been totally okay with him not coming. You could probably make Paul probably slots more into the forward group.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we're trying to squeeze him in, that's probably a decent candidate to be taken out. So is probably Pedro Neto as well.
Pedro Neto to me is actually one of the most egregious selections because he's had 12 minutes in the last 3 months.
Yeah,
he's played no games.
I'm assuming he's fit now.
I'm assuming so. He's not in full match shape though. He's played.
He's also he would have a very similar role on the team to Francisco Conceição, which is spark off the bench for the wing.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would need both of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't get that.
I don't know. Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. I don't necessarily know who I would bring instead if I wanted a true central midfield player.
I know some people were making shouts for Mateus Nunes, but
yeah, I mean, even he would have been a better option. He would have been George.
He would have offered more, right? But again, he's not played as much, so I understand it. But I feel like literally anybody would have been a better choice than Ruben Neves for sure, at least from the midfield standpoint.
And the same thing's kind of true about Otávio.
Yeah, I like Otávio, but I feel
I like him too. But yeah,
that was a weird. That was a bit of an inclusion where I was like,
well,
whatever.
It's good to know that going to Saudi Arabia does not impact your ability to get selected. So
no, playing for Sporting does though.
Yeah,
apparently playing for the literal Portuguese champions affect your standing. I have no issues with the forwards outside of Pedro Neto. I think that's the only one where I'm like, yeah, you should not be on this team. I just also felt like the excuses from Martinez where he's like, well, I didn't call Pedro Gonçalves and Trincao weren't in any they haven't been playing the last year, they haven't been called up. And it's like, bro, you're the one who calls them up or chooses not to call them up. It was big, we're trying to find the guy who's responsible for this. It's like, my brother in Christ, it's you. You're the guy responsible for that. So I thought that was just a stupid cop-out answer. And there's people are like, why are you upset your guy's not going? Who cares? I'm like, it's just, for me, if you want to build the best team, you take the best players in that moment, and I don't think this is that team. I
No,
feel like, yeah, that's my initial thought on it. Like,
it's like a decently good team. Maybe they can do something, but yeah, it doesn't feel like it's the best possible
I
team.
will stick by my prediction of they will at least go to the quarterfinals. I think they at least get to quarterfinals. I think that might be as far as they can get taken. Looking
Yeah,
at
we'll
looking at the
see.
way this team is constructed, because like who like the favorites to me are France, which is a given. Probably Spain, England would be like that upper tier, and then I think the second tier would probably be like us, Germany. I don't even know who else. Like maybe the Netherlands, like those teams. Italy would also be like in that same tier as us. Like I think once we get to like an actual good tough team, which is most of this tournament, we're gonna be very hard pressed to score some goals. We're gonna have a tough time, I think, because I don't know what Ronaldo we're gonna get. Like, are we
Tough
gonna
to
get?
know. Tough to see. He hasn't really.
It's tough to say. Like he's been lighting it up in Saudi Arabia, which is great, and like he played pretty well in the qualifiers. But again, if push comes to shove and he needs to sit out a game for whatever reason because tactically it doesn't make sense, or he needs to come off as a sub, or he's just playing bad, like is he gonna is he gonna be like, okay, do what's in the best interest of the team or do what's in the best interest of Cristiano? Because it was a big distraction at the World Cup. As much as they want to deny that it wasn't a distraction, it 100% was. It was very blatantly obvious that he was a massive distraction. So I'm curious to see what Ronaldo we get at this Euros, which will probably be, I'm assuming, his last European Championship. He's what, 38, 39 now?
39,
Like
yeah.
he'll be 40. He'll be in his early to mid 40s by the time the next one rolls around in 2028. So I would imagine this is probably his last European Championship with the national
You never
team.
know.
I know we never know, and that's what scares me. That's what scares me, my guys. We never know. Yeah. Any final thoughts on this call up, Chris? That we're missing.
Yeah, I mean, you could even make an argument that João Felix is not.
Yeah. Okay. This isn't me being a Sporting fan. João Felix does nothing for me. He does zero for me.
He's been a reserve option for Barcelona for most of the season. He's had some moments, but
and he'll probably start our first game.
Yeah, we'll see.
Which
I
is
don't know, man.
infuriating.
I just don't really have a whole lot of excitement or even belief going into the tournament.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'll be there watching like everybody else, but
I'll be there hoping to God they prove me wrong.
I don't. I don't know, man.
Prove me wrong.
And like, I understand that like they're coming off of probably like their greatest qualifying campaign in my lifetime. Like they literally went 10-0, right?
Yeah, they went 10 for 10 in
They
qualifying.
never do that.
They
end up in the playoff more often.
They
than
almost
not.
always either end up in the playoff or they barely squeak in automatically on like the last day.
Yeah,
Because
so
they
it's
screw
like
something up.
they're literally coming off the best qualifying campaign that I've ever seen in my entire lifetime.
Yeah.
And I'm still like not really that sold, but who knows? We'll see, I guess, right?
Yeah,
But
and I think too, like we've said before, take the qualifying playoff with like take the qualifying stage as a grain of salt, because we didn't play like a killer team, right? We didn't play anybody really difficult. Not to knock down like the teams we played, but like we didn't play like an Italy or a Spain or like even like a Turkey or a Switzerland or like a Sweden or whatever. Like we played pretty average to below average teams. So winning 10 out of 10 games, some of them not even very convincingly, we should take that with a bit of grain of salt, like I said. I hope they prove me wrong. I hope that we come on this show in July and we are completely just like utterly looking stupid and putting our own foot in our mouths today, and we are celebrating with the rest of the Portuguese. But this is one of the more underwhelming call-ups for me in recent memory. Certainly going into an international tournament. I'm more underwhelmed by this call-up than the call-up in 2016 when we actually won. and I don't know why, because that team was ass cheeks for the most. That team was kind of garbage. We took Eliseo, okay? We started the game with Eliseo and Vitinha as our fullback. Like, we were in the trenches. How we won that tournament with like a 39-year-old card value leading the way at one point, like that baffles me. Like, good for them Sench, man. That guy's got my eternal gratitude for dragging that out.
It's not like he really like had them as a well-oiled machine.
They didn't let go. They didn't let it.
Yeah.
Other than the game against Hungary, they just didn't let teams score. They're like, we're not going to let anybody get a shot on that. And Patricio was like, and if they do, I'm going to be playing like fucking Lev Yashin.
Yeah,
I'm playing like the greatest goal you ever saw.
He had a statue in Lydia off of his performance. In that
he does.
tournament.
He's got a wicked statue in Lydia because of it's the save against Griezmann in the final. Off the header. He decided to play sicko mode for like that month and a bit. Like it was crazy. Yeah, nothing to add on the call up. We'll probably have some stuff for the Euros coming up as well. We still have the Taca to talk about. They selected the refs for the Taca, Chris. I'll let you get into that. You're the ref conspiracy guy.
It's Verissimo, right?
Yeah, it's Verissimo, and there was somebody else on. I think Pinheiro was on the VAR, or vice versa. So
I mean, it's his first Taca final.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see.
I will say that it feels like the game is definitely set up for us to not win, but
yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see. I'm hoping that the boys who didn't get called up are motivated enough, and we'll be like, you didn't pick us, fine. We're gonna go absolutely sicko mode in the final Taca. It's a Sunday kickoff, 12:15 kickoff. So we'll see what happens. We'll be going live that day. In case you don't know, we'll be posting on Twitter shortly. We'll be going live just before kickoff. You can watch along with us. We will not be showing you the actual game. You can find that for free, and I will tell you now where you can find it for free on RTP Play. Worldwide, I'm pretty sure you can watch the Final Taca. So you don't have to go through, those other sites unless you want to, like, do what you want. I'm not here to tell you what to do. But yeah, so we'll be doing a watch along with that. And you can follow along. Anything I'm missing? Any modalidades news that we're forgetting, Chris? I feel like futsal won their first series. No.
Yeah, they won the first series.
Yeah.
2-0. Basketball got eliminated since on the last pod. So did the ladies ended.
Yeah.
Roller hockey is still going. It's 1-0 series there.
Yeah.
Game 2 is I think tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's really it. And then futsal goes the latest usually into like mid-June, the final. So yeah, I mean that's really it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Unless we want to talk about the alleged Pedro Sepulveda, Ruben Amorim going to Chelsea now. Rumors. I saw that.
And it's gonna be Man U too soon because I saw that Ten Hag is apparently leaving as well.
Well, shocking! Who could have predicted Ten Hag leaving? Regardless, he's gonna he could get the Louis Van Gaal treatment, win the FA Cup, still get canned.
Did you understand Amorim or Varandas' comments? I think it was at the hospital visiting Manuel Fernandes. Did you interpret his comments to mean that Amorim is definitely staying?
That's kind of how I interpreted it. Yeah, I just kind of assumed like he was staying, and I've always assumed like he's staying with the caveat that unless someone decides to trigger that clause and pay up the full money, in which case there's nothing you can really do.
Because when he said that, technically the Man U and Chelsea jobs weren't even open yet.
No, they were not.
But a week later, they're both going to be open. So it's like, is he definitely staying, or is he not going to be linked to those jobs like he was to the other ones? I don't know. I was like, I just like don't know why he would have said that if it's not.
I assume that unless he's leaving for the release clause, he's staying. I think that's kind of how I interpret that.
The release clause that he has a handshake agreement to not leave for.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. That I saw that kind of today. They were talking that the Chelsea job was open, which should come as a surprise to absolutely nobody because they're such a banter club.
I don't think he wants that job, to be honest.
I wouldn't want to, if I'm a coach, if I'm any coach in the world, whether I'm an up and coming coach, whether I'm an established coach, and I've seen some success, whatever. Why would you take either of those two jobs right now? It's such a
You're not going to make
suicide.
it more than a season.
It's careers. You'll get 2 seasons tops, but it's right now it's career suicide to take the Chelsea or Man United job because they're so disorganized. Their scouting is so bad. The squads need total overhaul again. And in United's case, that's like this will be like the 4th or 5th like major squad overhaul since Ferguson left like 10 years ago. Like I would not want to take those jobs right now. Why would you want to thrust yourself into such chaos? So I could see him even if they reach out to him for him to say why, just to say no on principle. I wouldn't put it past him to be that type of person. Say I'd rather take a little bit less money probably and have the stability here, and I have relatively full say on personnel and squad and everything like that. Whereas you go to a Chelsea or United and it's such a different structure, he's probably going to have almost no final say, and he probably won't have the support that he should get. And yeah, like you said, he'll probably be gone within a year or two. Especially at Chelsea, they'll can him after 6 months, let alone a year. United, he would at least get the full year, if not 2 seasons. Chelsea, 6 months if they're not doing anything, he'd be gone, and I would not put it past them. That's how I interpret that whole conversation. I still think he's staying, but we'll see. I feel like we have this conversation every few weeks now, where it's is he staying? Is he gone? I don't know. Anything else we are missing out on, Chris, before we wrap up? What's a relatively quick show?
Yeah,
Not much going
quick
on.
One, not much. Yeah, we're obviously just kind of counting down till Sunday more than anything at this point. It's always a fun day, like the Taca, the Festa, the lead up to it.
Yeah, even when your team's not in it, it's fun to kind of watch along because it looks
feels like a holiday in Portugal, almost like a baby holiday.
Yeah.
Taca final day. Yeah, it's got prestige and tradition that Taça de Liga just simply doesn't have, right?
Taça Liga is a Mickey Mouse Cup now.
Yeah,
anyway.
it has none of the tradition or fucking anything that Taça de Portugal has. Been a few years since we've won it.
2019.
We did not deserve to win it. We were much shittier as a team. Porto's definitely entering this game probably as the shittier team. We've seen teams like Guimarães, Aves definitely come into the game as the shittier team on paper and get a result. So anyone could win this game. It could go to extra. I personally think it will be a draw that goes to extra time and maybe penalties.
You think,
Yeah. But we'll see. Maybe we'll get some extended minutes from St. Just, right?
Who the heck knows what is 11's even. I assume we can predict. I assume it'll probably Diogo Pinto in that based on recent reports. Yeah. I'm assuming Coates, Inacio, and then probably either St. Just or Diamante.
Mm-hmm.
Although you could make a case for Quaresma, but he's kind of not played in the last couple games. So I imagine your midfield will be Hulman and then one of Morita or Bragança. Probably Morita.
Yeah.
Based on him having 2 or 3 wicked good games. And then I mean Jokeres up front, Pot and Trincão. Will be your four. It's really the only question marks will be probably your fullbacks, and I assume it will be Nuno Santos regardless. And then you're kind of stuck between Esgaio or Jenny. That's really the only kind of coin flip is the right fullback and your second midfielder to play beside Hulman. That's really it. So we'll see. We'll be here. We'll be live on the channel. So make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. That's gonna pretty much do it for us. Chris, where can they find you? Put those lovely links down below.
Yeah,
if you can. So you can follow Chris on X or Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it, whatever Elon just before he changes it there. You can follow me here. Danny and Sam could not be here, but make sure you follow Danny, Danny Saldana. Make sure you follow Sam as well. He's actually in Italy this week. He abandoned us to go to Italy. So wishing him a safe trip. I think he gets back either the day after or the day of the Final Taça. But more importantly, follow us on all things Alvalade, on all social platforms at AT Alvalade. Twitter's where we're the most active. We're the only place we're active right now. That's where you're going to get all news updates and whatnot, not just on the team, but on when we're going to be live or when we're going to be posting stuff. So feel free. We will see you all Sunday for the live stream. You can watch us yell at our computer screens live and in person in living color. We might be very celebratory. We might be very upset. So you tune in for some entertainment regardless. That being said, thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. And peace. Viva Sporting.
And
can't find the outro.
Oh, dude, I thought I hit end stream before I and I was like, oh shit, I forgot the outro.
Technical difficulties here at All Things All
I got the outro.